Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very glad to have the association of His Grace Premavasya Prabhu. We will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 6, chapter number 1, sloka number 9. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Yes, sir. Let me share my screen.
Yes, Prabhuji.
My screen visible?
Yes, Prabhuji. It's visible, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtiprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavate Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते तप्त काञ्चने गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिया वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So welcome devotees. So today in this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatam class, we are going to discuss on this very important and practical verse for every sadhaka and devotees. This is verse number Canto 6, chapter 1, verse 9. Sri Rajo Vacha. Drishta Shrutabhyam Yat Papam Jananam Yatmano Hitam Karoti Bhuyo Vivasaha Prashchit Matho Katam. Synonyms, translation prepared by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Rajo Vacha. Parikshit Maharaj replied, Drishta by seeing, Sutabhyam also by hearing from scriptures or law book, Yat since Papam sinful criminal action, Jnanam knowing, Api although, Atmanaha of this self, Ahitam injurious, Karoti he acts, Bhuyaha again and again, Vivasaha unable to control himself, Prashchittam, atonement, Atho, therefore, Katham, what is the value? Translation Maharaj Parikshit said, one may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that a criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by people in general, and because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish conditions in the next life by committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what is the value of such atonement? Purpose. In some religious sects, a sinful man goes to a priest to confess his sinful acts and pay a fine, but then he again commits the same sins and returns to confess them again. This is the practice of a professional sinner. Prakshit Maharaj's observations indicate that even 5,000 years ago, it was the practice of criminals to atone for their crimes, but then commit the same crimes again, as if forced to do so. Therefore, owing to his practical experience, Prakshit Maharaj saw that the process of repeatedly sinning and atoning is pointless, regardless of how many times he is punished. One who is attached to sense enjoyment will commit sinful acts again and again until he is trained to refrain from enjoying his senses. The word vivasa is used herein, indicating that even one who does not want to commit sinful acts will be forced to do so by habit. Prakshit Maharaj therefore considered the process of atonement to have little value for saving one from sinful acts. In the following verse, he further explains his rejection of this process. Uh, I have prepared some slides to discuss. Uh, can you see my slide?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So, Raja Uvacha, hmm, Drishta, Drishta Stabhyam Yat Papam Jananan Api Atmano Hitam Karoti Bhuyo Vibasah Prashchitam Atho Katham. So, Drishta means by seeing, and Shtabhyam also by hearing. So, sometimes we may not have seen, but we also hear. So, in the beginning, when we want to understand, like in schools and colleges, and when we are small, parents they tell us that we should not perform any bad activity because the results are bad. And also in the previous canto, uh, the entire description of the hellish planet and different kinds of sins and their resultant results were discussed. And that is why this chapter talks about how one can overcome those desires for sinful activities and is it possible that just by describing that there are different kind of hellish planet and if you commit uh, this kind of sinful activity and then this is the resultant in hellish condition life, this is not going to help anyone. So this is what it is being said here. So although in general anyone who believes in the Vedic Shastra, they understand the law of karma, and we also understand that sinful activities in the past results in the or in the present, sinful activity in the present or in the past results in the miseries in this present world. We hear this, we see that people are suffering, and sometimes we cannot find any reason for their suffering in this present life. Then, from the description of Shastras, we understand that maybe they committed some sinful act and therefore they are suffering. Today, if someone is not suffering from any disease or any condition, but we must be sure that because we committed some kind of sinful activities, we have some kind of sinful desires, we have this tendency to enjoy this material world and try to control the material world. Therefore, we all are here. And therefore, even though in the present condition, one is very happy, but we never know when the results of the sinful activity will get matured and we may have to face the consequences of that. So we all know this, but we say that I'm helpless, I cannot avoid this, and therefore I had to commit that sinful act. Okay, so this is called drishta sutabhyam yat papam. Yat papam janana api atmana ahitam karoti bhuya vivasah prayashchittam aho katham. This vivasaha word also comes in Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna says that uh, We asked Lord Krishna, why is one one is forced to act in a sinful way, although he knows. Same question is being asked here, Vivasaham. And once we understand or we realize that sometimes we get forced to act in this format and we cannot help ourselves. We feel Vivasaham. Many times, even it is said that you don't commit, you follow the regulatory principles, but people will say that I do not want to commit. I'm very pure from inside, but something within me it forces me to commit, and in that moment I cannot control myself. So just to discuss on these topics, I prepared some slides and we'll go through it. So people see this is called Drishta, and they hear also Shruta about the consequences, and they know an action is harmful. Still, they repeat it helplessly, vivasaha. So, what is the value of repentance, prayashchittam? There is no, I mean, you commit the sinful act and then you say, uh, "I'm very sorry. I didn't want to commit this. I didn't. I There's no intention to hurt your feelings. There's no intention to harm you, but I cannot help myself. Uh, this is the law. I mean, you cannot do anything. Something like that. They will say, but they keep repeating it. Even those who eat meat, if you say that why do you kill animals to just to satisfy your taste buds, you know, they will say they will cite some different reasons, but they continue to keep eating meat. They cannot overcome. Similarly, those who are drunkard, they use some kinds of intoxication. They know. I mean, I have seen doctors in the premises of hospitals smoking cigarette. In our the place where I stay in Kharghar, in Navi Mumbai, we have this Tata Cancer Institute, and it is very surprising to see that the relatives of the patients who are admitted into the Tata Cancer Hospital because of some kind of cancer, they they are standing near the auto rickshaw stand and they smoke cigarette. Very, very interesting to see that they know cigarette is harmful, it causes cancers, and someone in their family is suffering because of cancer. He's admitted. No one knows what will be condition, um, how the deep suffering is, but they are standing outside, and if you ask them what they said, we are very tense. What will happen next? He's suffering a lot, and to calm my tension, I'm smoking cigarette. You see, so this is called vivasaha. So sometimes we are forced. So we need to understand how to overcome this vivasa state, how to overcome this helplessness, that and how to become strong in this kind of situation. So this is the universal human problem. What is the problem? That you do a mistake and and repeat it, keep repeating it. Anger, gossip, overthinking, procrastination, phone addiction, unhealthy habit, saying yes under pressure. So we know all these things. Maybe some initially one may not know this. Those who have the habit of getting angry, they don't understand that this is their problem. If you say that why do you get angry so much? They will get angry on that topic itself. That why do you say I'm getting angry? So they do not understand. Sometimes they do not understand that they have the habit of getting angry. Sometimes they do not understand that they are into the habit of gossiping, overthinking, procrastination. They think this is normal way of life. This is my nature instinct. This is how I am. Phone addiction. No one thinks that this is the bad and one should overcome this addiction. Scientifically, what we know, I mean, that this kind of dopamine. So uh, whenever we feel happy, there is dopamine release in our brain. and that gives the good feeling to us. And this phone, when you watch this phone, it gives a variety. You have shorts, you can watch it continuously. And another factor is that you do not know what is going to come next, which video, which suggestion is going to come next. So that therefore every time always it looks like a new, and one never gets bored, and they just keep browsing, and one ping and you get lost for hours together browsing the phones. And then this has become like addiction. It's not only for the children, even the adults. Even I have seen the people in the age of 60s, 70s, also they're addicted to phone. They just watch phone. Then unhealthy habits and saying yes. So all these things, many people they do not realize that this is a mistake and they should overcome. And because of these mistakes, they are not progressing in their life, in the devotion or in material life or anyway. And sometimes, if somehow one accepts, yes, anger is a problem, gossip is a problem, for me, overthinking is a problem, procrastination is a problem, I have addiction to phone, I have many healthy habits, and I do say yes under pressure. But then also they will say, Vivasaha, I am helplessly doing this. I cannot control my anger. Whenever there is situation, I get angry. Wherever there is some topic to discuss, I start gossiping. Whenever there is some topic, something is going to happen, I cannot help myself overthinking. And I do procrastinate. I always try to push the things. I try to push the boundaries. I never deliver on the deadlines. I always miss the deadlines. And unhealthy habits, I cannot control myself. I cannot wake up early in the morning. I cannot do exercise. I cannot do anything yoga. So many things. So initially, people they do not know that this is a problem. And if they happen to know that this is a problem, they say, I'm helpless. I cannot overcome this myself. So this is what the topic of this sloka. So let's discuss 5 regions. There could be many regions, and you can suggest other regions as well. But for our discussion, I just noted down 5 reasons why we feel helpless and why we keep repeating the things. So reason number one is that intellectual knowledge is equal to transformation, inner transformation. Gyan is not equal to Pravartan. It means just by reading, that transformation is not going to happen. So just by informing someone that this is not good, this is bad, that inner transformation is not going to happen. So knowing is not equal to becoming. Information is not equal to purification. So mind understands, but senses overpower it. So we understand this. Once we have intellectual knowledge, we understand it, but without that inner transformations, our senses will always overpower what we know. So just just by knowing intellectually, so for example, even if you read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, many people are there. I have I have some friends who used to read Bhagavad Gita. They say that my father used to teach me Bhagavad Gita when we were small, with kids, and they also have memorized many verses from Bhagavad Gita. But there is no inner transformations, right? Okay. So similarly, I mean, just by knowing, we understand intellectually, our mind also knows this, but our senses overpower it, and we keep repeating the same mistakes again and again. Reason number two is habit is stronger than logic. So if you repeat it, it forms a habit, then becomes like automatic, and then it gets a compulsion. So in our Vedic Shastra, in Vedic Shastra, we can say that this is called samskara. So if there is an impulse from within, and if we perform the act that forms sanskara with us, in neuroscience it says what is repeated becomes natural. So bad habits they form a neural circuits, and Even when we know better, mind chooses comforts. That means it follows the neural circuits. So, so old patterns are more powerful than the new resolutions. So therefore, what it is said that do not perform the act. So if there is something, there is an impulse from within, if you are able to control that impulse there itself and not perform the act, then that samskara will not be there. And if if we perform it repeatedly, one by one, we do it that it is not harmful. Let's do it once more, and then what happens that there is some changes in our neural circuit. Neural circuit, to just to understand in a very simplified form, it's like we have our bodies, our feelings are controlled by different kinds of hormones. And these hormones, the release of hormones, they have a threshold. Okay. So, I mean, initially, when the hormones are not released, when they're about to release, so if there is a feeling within us, then what happens that hormone get released. Different kinds of hormones are there. We will not discuss on those hormones today. So if there is a feeling, then a hormone got released, and that hormone supports our bodily activity to perform the task. Okay. So if if there is a feeling, so thinking, feeling, willing, and then the action. So when we start thinking about it because of association or because of reading or because we see something, then if there is thinking in our mind, and then the thinking transforms into the feeling. We start feeling it. We we without performing the act, our mind starts to feel that if the act is performed, how good it would be. Something like that. Or you feel satisfaction within and to perform the act. And there is a strong will. So once we reach to the stage of strong will, the hormone is released. And once the hormone is released, we become helpless. We cannot help ourselves but to perform the act. So right from the thinking, we need to control ourselves and never perform the act. So, but what happens that we perform the act once, then twice, then thrice, and becomes a habit. And then once it becomes a habit, then logic is not going to help. I mean, you may have seen people smoking cigarette and saying that, yeah, we should not smoke cigarette because it causes cancer. And then they keep smoking cigarette. They know they would say that, yeah, killing is sinful act, but we cannot control ourselves. There are so many things we have to kill, and they cite many reasons for killing animals. And therefore, what is important for us that we should understand that we should not form a strong habit, because once the habit is formed, then it becomes a strong logic. I mean, even the strong logic cannot help us to not perform the act. Therefore, we should avoid this, and we'll discuss in the last how to overcome this. Reason number three is that desires overpower judgments. Kama, krodha, lobha. So the best thing is that we should learn to control our desires, and therefore in the entire Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, in the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and the Acharyas, the what they try to purify is desire. They say, when will that time come? I will become like that. When will that time come? I will just think about Lord Krishna. When will that time come that I will overcome this Kama, Krodha, Lobha? So today we may have many um, what to say that many wrong desires. We may have many Kama, Krodha, Lobha overpowering ourselves. But if you keep desiring, if you keep desiring that I should overcome these things, these bad activities, this bad thought, and just like in Siksastrakam also, we see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he teaches us how to desire, what should be our desires. So we must try to purify our desires. And these bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, what it helps us is that in a subtle form, it helps us to desire good things. So even even today, we may not be in a strong position, but if our desires become stronger, then desires overpower judgment. So it can one day it can overpower our habits also. It can support our logic slowly, and we get spiritual strength. So desire clouds the clarity. Anger search of the reasoning. Once we have this anger, what happens that no reasoning works. What we say, we will see. Let's do it. We will see what happens. I will perform this act and I will face the consequences. Although reason wise he may know that it is very difficult to face the consequences. So any act performed in the anger, and when the anger subsides, then they always feel sorry that in the race I performed this. Recently, a video came in the that one person. I mean, you must have seen many videos about the road race. They they try to harm one another because it's a road race. Just if somebody is honking from behind or is not giving way to go, they just try to hit him. They just try to overrun them. So anger shuts off all the reasonings. We cannot think. And dhyayeto visyan pumsa sanga tesupajayate. So this is called desire. Sanga tesupajayate. So the desire to associate or have it or enjoy it, that is called desires. So dhyayate visyan pumsa sanga tesupajayate sanga sanjayate kama kamat krodha vijayate krodha dhovati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhrama smriti bhamsa buddhi nasa prasati. So this kama, when kama desire is obstructed, then there's a krodha, anger, and when the kama is fulfilled, then there's a lobha. So we get trapped in that cycle. Once that strong desire is there, then kama, krodha, then desire, then kama, krodha. So we get trapped in this triangular cycle, and we very difficult to come out of it. So greed, lobha, blinds long-term thinking. We stop long-term thinking. And even a wise person struggles to overcome this triangle of kama, krodha, lobha. So the best is desire. So every day we should sing songs of Narottam Das Thakur. There's a book, Prarthana. Very beautiful desires are given. It will purify our desires. So how to desire, what to desire, these are there in the teachings of Vaishnava Acharya. The, uh, so we should read it. And Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. है ना नष्ट प्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यम भागवत सेवया. So nast prayesu abhadresu. So this abhadra is also said the desires. The bad desires are like abhadra. Nast prayesu abhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So if one reads Bhagavatam or thinks about the Bhagavatam, hears of the Bhagavatam, then what happens? The nast prayas abhadreshu. All the abhadras in a life, all the bad desires in a life will go away. Almost, almost gone. Nast prayes abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir. So we must read this and we should understand that we need to purify our desire. This desire is very subtle form, and sometimes we may express the desires that I want this. Sometimes we may not express desires. It's there within us, is silently killing us, is silently overpowering our all the judgments. And some people are very vocal, and they also have a good way to express their feelings, their inner desires. But many people are not there. They do not understand that I'm performing this act because I desire this. Okay, so they do understand. So this desire is something very difficult to explain as well. Sometimes it lies somewhere, like a bad friend, like a bad friend. So any good opportunity comes, this bad friend will whisper in your ear, "Don't take this. This is not good for you. Go and take this." And you do not know this friend is whispering. You think that it is my own judgment. So the desire, it lies there within us, and sometimes it silently whispers us, and all our judgment, everything, it overpowers it. So the best part is that every day we read Bhagavatam associated with devotees, Bhukti Mukta Spriha Vihina je Bhakta, Labhaite Tako Sangha Anurakta. Bhakti Thakur says that we should associate with those devotees, those personalities who are devoid of this bhukti mukti spriha vihina ja bhakta. So the who are devoid of those kind of desires. These desires are like a communicable disease. So if we associate with 10 people, we are sitting with 10 people who have one kind of desire to enjoy this material world, then it's like a communicable disease. It comes to us as well. Even if you're not talking to them, even if you're not they are not our friends, but we are sitting among them. Their desires, their strong desires, will overpower us, and we also start to desire. Similarly, it happens. I mean, opposite way. If there is a strong devotee, very powerful devotee, just like Srila Prabhupada, he's sitting there. His strong desires to serve the Lord overcomes the desires of other people who are listening to him or associating with him. So unless we develop that strong desire for devotional life, for serving uh, Guru, Vaishnava, Krishna, and we understand the importance of the devotional life. We understand the miseries of this material world, and all those things we understand, and then we develop a strong desires. Then our strong desires may influence other people's desires. These are very subtle things. I mean, there's no wire connected. There's no wire connected, but it interferes because all desires, I mean, if you want to understand in terms of scientific logic, then we can also think about that our all these feelings, they generate some kind of wave from our brain, and that wave can be captured, that can be studied. The different kinds of waves are there. All waves have not been studied. Some they say alpha, beta, gamma, some kind of waves are generated, and that they propagate, and they can change, they interact with the outer atmosphere. So many complex things are there we do not understand, but we should know that a desire within one person, they may not talk to each other, they may be sitting side by side, but it affects other person desires who is more stronger. And if the desire is within us, then it overrides all our judgments. Number four reason is weak willpower. This is called vivasaha, helplessness, weak self-control. Like a car without brakes, knowing the rule, still breaking it. And repentance, but no transformation. So weak willpower. So this willpower will also come in association with devotees only. If we associate with people who have willpower, a strong willpower, we also get a strong willpower. And the proper desire will give us a strong willpower. So once the desire become very strong, our willpower also become very strong. So to transform ourselves, if we have low desire to transform ourselves, we do not have a strong desire to transform ourselves from person A to person B, then we also have weak willpower to for that transformations. And because we have weak willpower, we feel vivasaha, we feel helpless, and we cannot control. And whenever those urges comes to perform the sinful act, what has been forbidden, we may know it, we may not know it, we feel helpless, and we cannot control ourselves. And reason number five is the environment triggers the mistake. So same friend circle, same gossip get repeated, same kind of stress, same anger. repeat. Same temptations, repeat. So, so asat sangachar, a Vaishnava achar. So the symptom of a Vaishnava is asat sangachar. So if you say that I want to become a devotee, and but I cannot forego my old friends who drinks, who intoxicates, and who perform all the sinful activity. I used to be among them, and because of their association, bad association, I was also performing those bad activity. But now, because I desire to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, I want to transform my life. I want to lead a spiritual life. But at the same time, I cannot leave my friends. I want to associate with them as well. I will go with them wherever they go. I will not drink, I will not smoke cigarette, but how can I leave my friends? So same environment, it triggers the same thing. So therefore it said asat sangachar a Vaishnavachar. But today, practically it is not possible. Practically it is not possible. So a devotee creates a mental barrier, which and they do not allow the influences to come within. And to have a stronger those kind of mental barrier, for example, I mean, one can say that okay, I will go in ashram and then I will stay. In previous time, we to say that they go to some forest, they will go to Himalaya, something like that. But today, everywhere the same condition in the family, maybe your parents, your sons, daughters. I mean, you are associating with them, and they eat meat, they drink, they smoke cigarette. But someone from them, from their friendship or their family members, they want to become devotee. So, in past there was one Prahlad, one Hiranyakasipu, but today in every devotee's life, they are facing a situation like the Prahlad only. So all over I mean, there's no support in the devotional life for the spiritual upliftment, no support from family, no support from friends, and they create impediments, but they need to stray among them. So therefore, we should follow the footpath of Prahlad Maharaj. We should read his life, his style, how he performed very seriously. And if you read this, what we'll understand is that in all the conditions, Prahlad Maharaj was chanting Lord's name, right? In all the conditions, either loudly or silently within mind, and that was the strongest power. His strongest desire to serve Lord was his strongest weapon or strongest guard, even if he was among the familiar demons. His strong willpower was there because of strong desires. So he is our idol. Similarly, Vishnu Pitama. So if you see Vishnu Pitama, then how he was? Vishnu Pitama, if you see, I mean, you see that Vishnu Pitama is a Mahajana. But just flip your thinking and then question it. How can he be Mahajana? He was supporting the bad people. He was among them. He was supporting them, and he did not do anything when I mean when Draupadi was harmed. He did not do anything, and then he supported Duryodhana's plan. He also participated in the fight, and even he shoot arrows on Lord Krishna. Then how can Bhishma consider the Mahajana? Right? You just flip the thinking and then ask the question, and you will get the answers. Why, although being among the bad people, although being supporting the Kauravas, although being against the Dharma, still he is considered as one of the 12th Mahajana. So our condition is like that. So our idol is Prahlad Maharaj, who was among living with Hiranyakasipu. Our idol should be Bhishma who was living among the Kaurava, because this is our condition. We are not living with the Pandavas. We are not in the Pandavas team. We we are living amongst the Kauravas team, and therefore we should study Bhishmitama very seriously, very minutely, and understand how it is. Then we understand that, and that is how we will be able to overcome the environment triggers. So, so why? So we already discussed this why. So why repentance alone fails? So this is called Bahya Prashchit, and there's the Antrik Prashchit. So external atonement, that apology, that promise, rituals, regret, and there is a Antrik Prashchit, this internal purification, cleansing of the tendencies, vasanas, right? Vasanas, wrong desires. Hmm? So just by saying apology, I am very sorry. I promise that I will not do this. Let me follow some rituals. I'm very sorry. I really regret from within. So that external atonement is not going to help much. But what is going to help is the internal purification process, this cleansing of tendencies, this vasana. And this vasana will only get cleansed if we associate with people who has the right desires. So transformation of desires is the most important thing. And therefore we should regularly read this Pratna book of Narottam Das Thakur regularly. And and even if you read for 1 week, I can guarantee, based on the powers of that book, Narottam Das Thakur Pratna book, that your desire will transform if you regularly read Narottam Das Thakur this Pratna book regularly, just for 1 week, and you will see how it transforms our desires. And similarly, if you read Bhagavatam, then our willpower will strengthen. But how to read this? So reading and hearing should not be mechanical. And what you read, I mean, if you read for 5 minutes, for 40 minutes, you contemplate on it. So that is what will transform. Just reading may not transform. So contemplation, just hear for 5 minutes, contemplate for 40 minutes. So that is the total 45 minutes duration of a class. So 5 minutes, one thing, and just contemplate on it. So this is the called three-step process. Manan, Manthan, and then Chintan. This is called MMC model. Manan, Manthan, and then Chintan. So whatever we hear about it, whatever we listen, whatever we read, we should do Manan. Manan, think about it constantly. Okay, so this is written. Okay, this is written. This is what I've heard. And then do Manthan. Then Manthan means there should always be two opposing thoughts. So Manthan means two opposing forces are pulling left and right. So two opposite thoughts, you, and then from that we get some conclusion after Manthan. And then the Chintan starts. Chintan starts means how do I apply in my life? The desire to apply. And that thinking will improve our or strengthen our willpower. So that is called MMC model. Manan, Manthan, and Chintan. Without following this MMC model, no transformation is going to happen. Just by listening, no transformation will happen. This also we hear whenever we hear about this Gokarna and Dhundakari, that story, where after the 7 day Bhagavatam class, the Dhundakari he got liberated, but other person who were hearing about it, they were not liberated. Then the question was asked, what is the reason? And the one reason that was said was because the other people were not thinking about it. This is what happens. I mean, I have observed myself also that just after the Bhagavatam class, we go to temple, we attend Bhagavatam class, or even if you listen it, immediately the class finished, then I mean, we don't think about what was taught in the class. If someone comes out of the class, many people will not remember the sloka number even. If you ask them, Which verse was being taught? You say Bhagavatam 6 canto, I think 8 or 9 somewhere. It was about Prashchit or something like that. They don't remember the sloka number even. And what thought comes up? Prasad ka coupon. Where is the prasadam coupon? Where is my parking lot? And they immediately they, I mean, 90% people will open their phone. I'm thinking that for 1 hour, my phone was in silent mode. There must be some important message which I missed. Now I should open a phone and look at WhatsApp messages, check emails, all these things. We just forget, I mean, what we heard about it. So we should just think about it that this is the reason why even after hearing Bhagavatam class for 30 years, for 40 years, transformation is very slow. Because after listening to Bhagavatam class for 10, 15 minutes, we should not open our phone and check the messages. We should just think about, contemplate what we heard, what how this Bhagavatam class is transforming my desire, how the Bhagavatam class is strengthening my willpower. Are my vasanas, my tendencies are being cleansed by this Bhagavatam class? We should think about it. Otherwise, after Bhagavatam class, immediately finish, open mobile phone, check WhatsApp messages, check Telegram, check emails, look for the array with when in the class there's a vibration in my mobile phone. Somebody may be dying in the ICU and he's calling and he may need my blood group and I need to go for blood transfusion, something like that. So serious, so serious. Once there was a class in the temple, and one devotee he picked up the phone in the class, and the Maharaj was taking the class, and he said, "Okay, okay, please go and help Sankarsana. He may be feeling very happy, or I mean, entire this universe he's holding on his head, and he's calling you to help him. That's so urgent. Otherwise, we all will die. Please go and help Lord Sankarsana." So Maharaj said like that. So just think about it. We came to Bhagavatam class to cleanse our tendency, to transform our desires, to strengthen our willpower. But we kept thinking that my mobile phone is silent mode, somebody call me, some message is there, some serious thing is there, I should discuss. So what happened that this entire 1 hour class does not help us. So one solution that will be discussed in the next verses and that comes is like only spiritual disciplines purifies the core. So devotional practices, mindful habits, and higher purpose, sattvic lifestyles, good association. I mean, the list can be longer. You can add some more topics to it, but this these five things what I thought that based on our discussion could help us. So spiritual discipline will purify the core. Our internal core will get purified, and then only we'll able to overcome the bad desires. So devotional practices are like rituals, right? So a person goes for cricket practice, he just goes, no matter he likes it, he dislikes it, he did the practice today very nice or not. He goes there. Even if he's not feeling good, he runs. Even if he's not feeling good, he just does push-ups. Even if he's not feeling good, he just practices bowling and just hits the ball, runs for some time, and comes back. So today was not a good practice, but he did. So devotional practices, we like it, we don't like it, we should perform it. Whatever rounds one is chanting, whatever seva is doing, even today, I don't feel like doing it. Just do it. Just for the practices, do it, and then slowly, one will start liking it and do it out of love. And then be mindful of your all the thoughts. Don't let thoughts come and go, habits come and go, because once the habit is formed, logic is not going to help us. Okay, and everything will happen if you have the higher purpose. So purpose pulls us, and we may know that serving Lord Krishna with love and devotion is the something highest, but it is just on the periphery of it. we have not made the purpose of our life to be like that, because the desire is not strong. The desire is not strong, and therefore the the desire to attain the higher purpose is not that strong. There is certain desire is there, but it's not that strong, and the habit is very stronger, habit to enjoy this material world one more time. What will happen if I eat one pani puri extra? What will happen if I eat one spoon of say rabri or cake extra? What happens if I just smoke once more? So that is kind of, I mean, it defies all the habits, all the logics. So have a stronger desire for the purpose, have higher purpose in life. That higher purpose, as a devotee, we all have the higher purpose. We know that highest thing, I mean, all the purposes of this Varnashram Dharma, everything is Sansiddhi Haritoshanam. It is only for the pleasure of Lord, and our life, our thoughts, our acts should be for the pleasure of Lord. But the desire that I should act for the pleasure of Lord is very weak. And that can be strengthened only by reading those songs. And I would say, please read Pratna book of Narottam Das Thakur. I repeated many times because I strongly feel that that book is very powerful. If you read just 1 week, you will get transformed. Just like Prabhupada's purport, this Bhagavatam, everything. But if you don't apply this MMC model, Manan, Manthan, and Chintan, then it's like taking shower, having a raincoat on us. So one goes in the rain with raincoat, he's so water does not touch him. Similarly, even if you read Bhagavatam, hear for it for many hours, it's not going to help. Sattvic lifestyle, we should try to maintain sattvic lifestyle. Sattvic lifestyle is not only about eating sattvic food. So when we say sattvic lifestyle, most people they understand that it is only about food. It's not about the food. It is about the way we donate. So even if you donate a temple, people they think that I have donated for Janmashtami and now I will be the chief guest in the final ceremony and I will be the first person to take Abhishekam, all those things because I donated, something like that. Because I am a life member, I should be given priority in the Prasadam line. Prasadam coupons should be given to me first. I am a life member. I donated this much money, so Sattvic donation is not like that. Sattvic donation, you know this, which is done out of duty and without any desires to get something out of it. That's a Rajasic. So our donation, our dresses, okay, then even our willpower, willpower should be Sattvic. Our thoughts should be Sattvic. What we speak should be sattvic, right? So you can read in detail Bhagavad Gita chapter 17 and 18, 16, 17, 18. You will know what are the, I mean, mostly in 18th chapter it's given what are sattvic, what is rajasic, and what is tamasic. So it's not only about the food. Food is just one part of lifestyle. But in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna describes everything that we do can be classified in sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Our sleep could also be sattvic. Our bathing could also be sattvic. Eating is sattvic. Walking is sattvic. Giving is sattvic. Also, accepting is sattvic. Going to different places could be sattvic, rasic, tamasic. Going to offices could be also sattvic, rasic, tamasic, right? Interaction with people could also be sattvic, rasic, tamasic. Everything that we do in our life can be classified into sattvic, rasic, tamasic. Something we do from outside, something we think internally can also be sattvic, rasic, tamasic. So therefore, we should learn from devotees what is sattvic, and we should adopt sattvic lifestyle. I mean, in every walk of our life, internally thinking, feeling, willing also should be sattvic. Outwardly, what we perform, our speech, our talk, our dealings should also sattvic. So that is called sattvic lifestyle. It's not about just eating vegetables without onion, garlic, and we say that sattvic. It's not sattvic. Even if we eat sattvic food, but if it is in a high quantity, it becomes tamasic. So even if it is sattvic food, then we should understand the quantity is also very important. Sattvic food. I say that I eat only sattvic food, but if I overeat sattvic food, that sattvic food, the impact is like tamasic food. So we need to be very careful. We really need guidance from devotees to understand sattvic lifestyle. What is sattvic lifestyle? And good association will help us to understand all those things. And so higher test, higher principle. Rasavarjam, rasopesya, param drashtva nivartate. Lower desires disappears only when replaced by higher joy, higher meaning, higher purpose, and higher identity. What is the most highest identity? Then to understand Gopir Padkamalayo Das Das Anudas. That feeling, Gopir, that feeling that I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of Lord Krishna. So that is the highest identity, right? So higher joy, higher meaning, higher purpose, higher identity. So this will help us to disappear lower desires, and therefore we should read the books by acharyas. We should listen to the devotees. So bhukti mukti spriha vihina bhakta. We should only listen to those devotees who are bhukti mukti spriha vihina bhakta. And then some practical tools. So daily reflection, swadhyay is very important, and follow this MMC model, Manan, Manthan, Chintan, company the wise satsanga, and spiritual research, our sadhana. Habit substitution, change your habit, change your environment. So changing environment, I mean, if you say that now I will change my family members, that is not possible. So changing environment is, I mean, creating barriers. People cannot impact our thoughts, our feelings, and if our desires and willpower become strong, that is how we need to change internally. Internally, whom to associate. It's like when two people they meet, who is associating with whom? How do I decide? So if there are two colors, if they're kept together, so for example, one yellow color and then one black color. Now you keep both the color together, I mean, and then they will diffuse. Yellow color will diffuse towards the black color will diffuse towards the yellow color. And now we will have a one color mixed together. Now, which color will look like? Mostly black. Black is something which mixed with any color, it will give the black shape. So that is how. So black color gives, it doesn't take any association. It gives association to anyone. It transforms all the color into that. Similarly, if you look at the great acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, he was among different kind of people. They're not the sattvic people, but he gave association. He did not took association. So changing the environment while still staying with the family members is like initially we were taking their association. Now you give association, meaning we don't change according to them, but they change according to us. So that is called environmental change. And we should keep an accountability partner. In corporate, in all the training programs, they talk a lot about this accountability partner. So we should have one accountability partner. If it is good that if he's senior, then you say that I plan this, I read this. There should be someone to whom you report that today I completed my chanting, today I read this, today I understood this. That is very blessing for us. So finally, knowledge informs, but practice transforms. And with this, I conclude. Uh, Thank you very much for today's class. Hare Krishna. I will stop saying now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was a really, wonderful class, clearly listed down what are all the triggers that's actually, causing us to struggle in our spiritual life or material life. So thank you, Prabhuji. I think you also beautifully explained how we can overcome this. So I think it's all going back to basics, sticking to the basics is what I understand, Prabhu. It was very revealing for me. Thank you. I would request the devotees to share their comments or questions, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much. Dandavat Pranams for the wonderful class, Prabhu. So this Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya we are having is, we are so grateful to Sankarshan Priya Prabhu and all of you who come and give us classes every day, Prabhu. And so hope it brings transformation within us, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thanks for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu, this Prarthana book by Narottama Dasa, is it available on online also, Prabhu?
I think it's available, Mataji.
Pardon, Prabhu?
It is available, Mataji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Any other questions or comments from the devotees? Oh, just a couple of comments, not a question as such. Prabhuji, I think earlier we were talking about, like 20 years back, the association is actually, good association and bad association. Especially bad association is with people with whom we are associating, and their habits are getting are influencing us like that. But now the biggest threat in the current decade is, Prabhu, or upcoming decades is the virtual fronts. Like in the form of you mentioned about the mobile phones or various social media. I think that is much more devastating than the physical friends, because physical friends you have a limitation on association with respect to time. Maybe you'll spend 1 hour, 2 hours, whereas this is really devastating. As the technology advances, it is causing more and more devastation. I think you very rightly mentioned about enforcing discipline to ourselves, spiritual discipline. So we cannot just stop something but replace with another substitute so that these bad habits will be eliminated. I think you highlighted very beautifully, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. It was very personally revealing to me. If there are no questions or comments, we can end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha kalpata rubhyasya kripa sindhobhya eva cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Thank you, Prabhu.
I just want to mention one thing. I have written a book that is Path of Inner Transformations. So in that book, I have taken 108 slokas from Bhagavad Gita, and the today class is very much covered in the same format in that book, and it has helped many devotees as well. So you can refer that book, Prabhuji.
How to get the book, Prabhu?
It is on Amazon, Mataji.
Amazon.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can you repeat the name, Prabhu?
This Path of Inner Leadership, Mataji.
Path of Inner
Leadership.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. And
Inner leadership. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We'll end today's session with, I think we already recited Vaishnava Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. I will end the Zoom session. Hare Krishna.